Freeplay limits have been pushed farther than ever before, with players like Raxzor getting to the 900s. But what if we limited ourselves to only one of each monkey? This way, super buff ninjas or even sun avatars aren't an option, and we'll really have to make a ton of tough decisions. Well, to test this, we booted up logs on easy and hit play. I started with a dart monkey off to the side and got Benjamin as early as possible. I was debating allowing heroes or not in this video, so I met in the middle and just used Ben to make us some extra money, but he won't help us pop the balloons. From here, we made the dart monkey a 0-2-3 crossbow. This has to be his best tier 5. Normally, it's the PMFC, but we can only get one dart monkey, so that would limit his ability a ton. From here, we got a banana farm, making it a 2-3-0 bank as fast as possible. This will make us a good amount of money, but more importantly, can be upgraded to a monkeynomics and sacrificed to a sun temple later on. The only thing is that whatever we sacrifice to the temple can't be replaced, as we only get one of each. So I want to get the temple up and running early so we can place other monkeys around it and not worry about future sacrifices. We put the super monkey right below the water and got a signal flare to the right of it so we can pop every type of balloon pretty easily. This allowed us to get our bank to an IMF loan, speeding up our farming by quite a bit. And as much as I wanted to make a monkeynomics now, I figured getting a little more defenses would be the play. So we got down a glue gunner to get rid of that primary monkey discount, bought a 4-2-0 bomb shooter, and started saving for that tier 5 banana farm. We got this on round 58, and money was no longer a problem. We still get the normal output of the IMF loan, but now his ability gives us a free 10k every use with no drawbacks. So now we get to focus on defending. To lock things up, we made our dart monkey a crossbow master, and he was sitting just outside of the super monkey's range. This is perfect as I didn't want to sacrifice him, but now it was time to make the tier 4 super monkey. Normally, I'd make the temple a 1-1-0-1, but because we only get one of each monkey, I was struggling with what to sacrifice. The farm was an easy choice, but the others were tough. I wanted to hit the 50k mark for each category while not sacrificing too much damage later on, so we ended up going with a Bloon Crush, monkeynomics, Bloon Sin, and special poperations. While all good in their own right, I figured they wouldn't help much against bads, which will be our biggest problem in free play. This didn't take long at all, and we had the temple up and running by round 88. This guy is now our main damage dealer and is working with Ben to make us extra money each round. To make sure we didn't lose, we picked up a 2-5-0 homeline defense next to everything and bought a few more defenses. I wanted to lock up the water first, so we got a carrier flagship, Lord of the Abyss, and Energizer. 3 easy choices if you ask me. The Energizer's cooldown reduction should help way more than his other paths. The extra pierce from the Mermonkey will be amazing for the huge balloon rushes in the hundreds, and the carrier flagship should outdamage his other 2 paths. But now, I just wanted to fill the map with the best upgrades and give him the most buffs possible. So we got down a Permabrew Alchemist to see how to space everything out, and we put a Super Brittle on the carrier flagship to give it as much coverage as possible. This guy will make every balloon it hits take extra damage, so we want it to see as much of the map as it can. Next, we got down the essentials, a Glue Storm and an Ultra Boost. The glue will make every balloon take more damage, and the engineer will make every monkey we have attack faster. The only thing is we have to use this Ultra Boost every time it's up if we want to get the most out of it, and I am notorious for forgetting about it. But from here, we filled out the map, getting as many damage dealers or stallers as we could. By the Fortified Bad on 140, we had Super Mines, a Mad, Superstorm, Grand Saboteur, Glaive Lord, Wizard Lord Phoenix, Cripple Moab, Inferno Ring, and a Flying Fortress. There were a couple hard decisions that I had to make, like getting a Mad over a Ray of Doom or Super Mines over a Carpet of Spikes, but I think we made the right call. We only had 2 monkeys that weren't tier 5s at this point, the Sun Temple and Giant Condor. But we can't get the Beast Handler to a tier 5 without having 4 of them, and because his damage is so low compared to the other monkeys, we made him a 0-2-4 in the hopes he might stall some balloons for us that would have leaked otherwise. And for the Sun Temple, I think it's a little late for making it a true Sun God. We would have had to plan it from the start, and a VTSG is off the table since we can't get the other 2 super monkeys. But the next 60 or so rounds were roughly the same. I went around to every monkey and ultra boosted them, used the other abilities whenever it was convenient, and I kept the Mad locked on shooting down the first straightaway. The nice thing about this setup is nothing should ever pose a threat outside of bads, as our Superstorm Druid will push them back to the start of the map, and we have plenty of damage for even fortified bads at this point in the game. In fact, it wasn't until round 223 that I took the Mad off locked mode and started manually aiming it. This was because fortified bads were starting to make it a few turns into the map before popping, and I figured I should get a feel for how much damage we truly do before I have to start using Ultra Boost for its active overclock on our main towers. At this point, I was just getting the 10 passive stacks on the last of our monkeys. All that's left are the Engineer, Alchemist, Glue Gunner, Beast Handler, Ninja, and Village. So that's what I did. Sacrificed the active boost on our best towers to get the passive Ultra Boost buff on everything we have. Definitely not needed, but I wanted to max out our DPS just in case it gets us an extra round or two. This is an extra 70 Ultra Boost on something arguably not that important, but somehow we got away with it. On round 258, we got the final boost on the village, rounding out our stacks in every monkey. But here is where I realized I made a mistake. Early on, I ran out of space near the permabrew. Honestly, a boneheaded move because the only important tower I couldn't get next to it and the homeland defense was the Flying Fortress, one of our highest damage dealers. And between the buffs, I chose to put it in range of the village and Sun Temple. But now, the village has 10 Ultra Boosts on it, meaning it gets 25% more range. So there's actually a spot I could have placed the ace to get all the buffs. Whether or not I would have lived long enough to pull this off, I don't know, but the potential was there. What's crazy is after we finished boosting everything, I went back to overclocking the Sun Temple and didn't see much of a difference. So I started testing what to overclock. The Flying Fortress had the most pops, so I gave that a go, but I didn't notice anything here either. The Mad though. It seemed to be doing the most to bads, which were the only things getting far, so that's why I decided to boost for the rest of the game. But even with this increased damage, the bads were getting far fast. On round 259, a fortified bad made it over 3/4 of the way through the map. This seemed to come out of nowhere, but it makes sense with how fast health and speed scales this late into the game. Every round after 250, Moab class balloons get plus 100% health and get 2% faster every round. Luckily, this is linear and not exponential, but it still gets out of hand fast. All the blimps we're fighting at this point have about 50 times more health than usual and are a little faster than 6 times their normal speed. And while I was doing everything we could to increase our damage at this point, the fortified bads just got farther and farther until we couldn't pop them. Round 264, with its 10 bads, 3 of which were fortified, were too much. Even with several retries, a fortified bad or 2 would make it to the end. So this was our limit. You guys should let me know if I'm overlooking any tier 5s, if I should have made the temple different, and if I should have allowed heroes like Ezili. Around 264 was how far I got with one of each monkey.